I'm Tracy.
And I'm Andy.
And I'm Chris.
And this is one of my favorite weeks. Every single season I look forward to this week. It was most memorable year week.
Yes.
Okay, so we wanted to start off. We thought it'd be a good idea to tell you our most memorable years. Chris, start with you.
I think 2005. 2005 was when I graduated high school, and it was my first time out of the country. Went to Peru, and I worked at a school that taught handicapped children how to do trades, right?
Oh my gosh, you're like such a good person.
And I think kind of it led me here today, because I walked out of there wanting to I wanted to make movies and television shows that made people feel something. So yeah.
Okay, Zane, what about yours? What was your most memorable year?
July 19th, 2008, when my wife and I got married.
Oh, yay, we love Megan.
She's good.
Okay, mine would be, she's good. Mine would be 2015. It's the year that I got engaged to my husband, Sean.
Oh, he's great. We like him.
We like him too. And I also won my first Emmy.
Ooh,
it was a big year.
What a year.
Within a month. So that was a very exciting year for me. And I love this episode because it just like you get to know these like the contestants, and I always cry. I was like, tears,
it was really heavy.
Tears.
The whole point of this week is not about getting 10s. It's not about getting high scores. It's about making the audience at home feel something.
Yeah, totally.
Because this week I think is what carries you to the finals, because this is the week that you basically make a connection with someone at home who's gonna pick up the phone and call for you like all the way to the end.
That's true. Whose story really touched you this week?
For me, and I think we all knew it was coming, Alexis.
Yeah, that was really
Alexis
sad.
was probably one of my strongest of the nights.
So Alexis talked about her mom who passed away from cancer, which was really, really sad.
Heavy.
And she got the news on Mother's Day. That was so sad. I was
Right.
like immediately like tears streaming down the face.
Also Mary Lou.
Yeah, Mary Lou talked about 1984, the year she won gold.
6 weeks.
But what we didn't know was it 6 weeks?
She said 6
before
weeks
that,
before.
she had a completely horrible knee injury that almost kept her from competing.
And
Wow!
no one knew, because she
What
didn't
a
want
champion.
she didn't want anyone to know, because then they would have known that she was injured and they could take advantage of that and this, that, and the
And
other.
they would have scored her different, the judges.
Yeah, and we have to talk about this because this was the first season, as far as in my recent memory, where they showed us the little box in box of them
They
getting.
don't. They usually don't let them watch it. They roll it and then they bring them out.
Yeah, of them getting to watch their kind of setup package. I loved it. It like made me cry even more because they were trying to fight the tears.
It made the story seem that much realer.
My boy Juan Pablo, aka the Latin Luke Bryan.
Good thing he got out of
perfect.
Buenos Aires.
Yeah, he got perfect 10s this week for his. Now, do you think it's a little unfair? And obviously, it kind of went with his story, but he got to do the samba, which, like, obviously he's Latin. I don't know if that
your
helps.
wheelhouse.
Actually, for me, I wouldn't have given it a 10, more 9s.
He also really sells it. His confidence in
Oh,
himself,
yeah.
like you're watching him and how much fun he's having with his face. He's like,
especially in the beginning, the
really
hips.
good, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me tell you who else I really connected with this week. One of my favorites of the night. I don't know if you'll agree with this. Ivana.
Oh yes, I loved her backstory.
You guys, Ivana's story blew my
right?
freaking
Crazy.
mind. Okay,
It was like magic.
If you're a huge Harry Potter fan like I am, like fanatic, hearing that she was pen pals with J.K. Rowling, what?
But it had nothing to do with her getting the role. That was the craziest part.
And then it's like, yeah, she didn't know she got the part. And then she came out and just really like danced her life off.
She did, and the production value of that was awesome.
Yeah.
Although the music,
She had
we
great
all know.
lines. That dress is amazing.
Yes.
And then my last standout for me was DeMarcus. We didn't talk about DeMarcus last week, and he just is.
He's back, baby.
He really is back. They ended the night with him. His story was great. He won the Super Bowl. However, it wasn't with the Dallas Cowboys.
The Broncos.
But they did show like one picture of him as a cowboy. Anyway, and then he talked about his family, and then he came out and he really like gave us that dance, and he's like such a leading man.
How about he threw her around like a rag doll?
I mean, first of all, when they just start and he's just like lifting her up.
Then he spins her and catches her.
Oh my God.
Then at the end, that lift was like boop, and it was like he could have held that forever.
This tape piece was all about, being vulnerable and trusting that, the world has like a plan and the bad things lead to the best things. And like when he's just standing there and holding Lindsay and then like kind of gives it up and then takes control.
Deep.
It was just such a perfect connection.
You watch it on like such a deeper level than me. I'm like drinking my wine. I'm like, that's cool. but I loved it. I'll tell you the one person who actually like didn't impress me this week and the judges loved, that I kind of disagreed with, was Tinashe. Her story, I didn't connect with it. It kind of felt very like superficial. I mean, I have no doubt that that's her most memorable year.
It's a do her own song. It's a great platform for her
totally.
to get her song out there to people that may not know her.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about who had the weakest week.
I think anyone doing contemporary gets a bad card.
Well,
No, because Bobby did
Oh, Bobby did
contemporary.
do great.
No, you know I don't like Bobby.
I don't like Bobby either, but
I don't like Bobby.
He had some facials that I was like, no.
I
was
think
so
oh,
You
I
need to
thought
be
just the
you need to be
opposite.
serious in contemporary dance.
But compared to last week, I thought there was he was dancing kind of like with his inner child. Like,
Yeah.
And kind of like, you know,
Yeah.
to his tape piece,
Yeah.
like never had that childhood.
Yeah. Right.
So for me, I was just so happy that he was able to kind of like live that moment. I think it was very like therapeutic for him.
and then obviously we always have to go back to him, but Grocery Store Joe, he's still getting sixes this week.
Right.
Oh, did you see the ground fog to cover his footwork?
Oh
If you
my
watched
gosh,
the
I
very
did.
beginning, there was a ton of ground fog. I was like, you can't even see a step.
He
And
totally
Callum
nailed
Scott.
that opening kind of hand movement where he was just like,
Yeah.
He looked better. Let's give him some credit.
Did I
He
do
looked
it?
better.
oh, he committed.
Yeah.
So then we get to the very end of the episode, and we get to the two that are in jeopardy are
Mm-hmm.
Nancy and Val, and then Tinashe and Brandon. Which do we think that she was really the lowest?
No, and I went back and I listened to like the exact verbiage of what they were saying, and sometimes the bottom two and who's in jeopardy are two very different things. So they'll say like in the bottom two this week. So those are the two lowest scores of the week.
I
and this
see.
time they just said who's in jeopardy.
Sadly, we had to say goodbye to Nancy. It wasn't very much a surprise.
Ba-da-da.
Put that on my monitor.
You're never gonna get any work done.
Not this week for sure. Okay, now you know what time it is, everybody. It's time to play our favorite game. Who
did you spot in the audience?
Okay, so it wasn't that big.
Not
of
a star-studded
Yeah, I feel
audience
like
at
we
all.
made-
I kind of only saw one person, and we're all gonna say the same person.
Miles Brown for Blackish.
No, Evan next to
Yeah,
Kendall.
Evan-
that was the only person
Evan
I saw all
Bass
night.
from the Bachelor franchise.
With Carly, Evan and Carly.
And then if you look into like the corner, like right next to Carrie Ann during one of the dances, you'll see Nastia Lukin.
Okay.
Who I love, gymnast. Oh, and then I want to like do a game called Who Was That Hot Guy in the Hat right next to Tom?
I was wondering who that dude was.
him
They don't
up.
let hats
No.
in.
Put him.
I missed it.
Oh, he's
he was there
smoking
all-
hot.
the
I
whole
saw him
time.
entire- I kept being like, he's obviously somebody because he's wearing a hat, and the girl next to him was wearing a Gucci shirt. If you know who these two people are,
Boing, 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 boing.
comment below. And that's how you play. Who did you spot
in the audience?
And then before we wrap up, we just have to talk about Dancing with the Stars Juniors.
Who did you spot in that audience?
Kim Kardashian. I mean, that is
Oh, I
a
heard about
big
that.
get. It's because she's
Yeah.
friends with Scottie Pippen's wife.
Yeah. So
on
His
and so
daughter's on the
forth.
floor. On the show. Wow, it is just tiny people doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and I live for it.
I love Mandy Moore on that show.
Yeah.
So we see her, you know, you hear the name on Dancing with the Stars all the time. I'm very happy for her. This is her moment.
Yeah.
But the kids are phenomenal.
A big thanks to y'all for watching.
And tune in next week for our recap.
And comment below to tell us what you think.
Ooh. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba.